Hello, and welcome to our session on the three R's to success: rights, responsibilities, and respect. In this session, we will help you understand your rights and responsibilities as a student. Although you may not be on campus at this time and participating remotely, it's still important to uphold the values of respect and be a responsible member of our U of M community. This applies to all your communications and interactions with fellow students, staff, and your instructors. Also, we want to leave you with information about resources and supports available to you. If you're having difficulty, or if you've experienced disrespectful or harassing behavior on campus, as it's important that you feel supported as a member of our community. As a U of M student, you have both responsibilities to uphold as well as rights that protect you. You have the right to feel safe, for example, while on campus and in all online and virtual interactions. This is really important here at the U of M, so much so that there are policies put in place to help protect your physical and emotional safety. Violence, threats, and bullying from anyone are not tolerated. We also have policies to protect against discrimination and harassment based on characteristics listed in the Manitoba Human Rights Code and other kinds of unfair treatment. If you experience any type of harassment or discrimination, please talk to someone. At the end of this presentation, we're going to pass along some important resources that will be helpful to you should you need them. With rights come responsibilities. You also have the responsibility to respect others and to know the rules and expectations around appropriate conduct, both in person and online. The University of Manitoba prides itself on being a diverse community. Students must demonstrate respect for their fellow students, instructors, and other staff they interact with. This applies not only to whatever goes on in class, but in all forms of communication outside of class as well. The U of M's Respectful Work and Learning Environment policy clearly states that anyone in a leadership role at the U of M has the responsibility to ensure that the climate of respect is followed. This means that instructors, department heads, or deans have a responsibility to intervene in situations where a student is engaging in conduct that is disrespectful. During this time, most of our communication and interactions with other students, instructors, and staff is taking place remotely. Therefore, we're going to take some time here to talk about your responsibility to engage in respectful communication and conduct in all of these virtual platforms: email messages, discussion posts for online classes, and even your social media. It's about being safe and ensuring that everyone's rights are respected. The policies at the University of Manitoba apply to all of these virtual and online platforms as well. You can be in violation of these policies if you post something that is inappropriate, disrespectful, harassing, or threatening. We encourage you to consider this responsibility in all virtual contexts, even in what you consider to be a private group chat or text. Remember, you're not the only person in this group. If you say or post something that is supposed to be a joke, it could land you in trouble if it violates university policies. So we encourage you to please think very carefully before posting any information online and when texting or sending email messages. An important question to ask is, who is reading this? And who else might see this? Keep this in mind, and most posts and communications, of course, can be shared, screen captured, and or forwarded to others. Could someone feel disrespected by your post or comment? There are students, faculty, and staff on campus from a wide variety of backgrounds and life experiences. We must be respectful and recognize that some comments, photos, or posts could be disrespectful to some people. Could it be misinterpreted and result in someone being offended? We want your time here to be positive and successful, and these considerations will be important to avoid unexpected issues around misconduct during your time here. As mentioned earlier, there are clear expectations for appropriate student conduct at the U of M. These are outlined in the above policies. Students are expected to be familiar with all of the policies listed on this slide and ensuring that your interactions and communications are appropriate and respectful at all times. The Student Non Academic Misconduct and Concerning Student Behavior Policy covers inappropriate or disruptive student behavior. The Student Academic Misconduct Policy includes areas such as cheating and plagiarism, among others. The U of M also has a respectful work and learning environment policy, which covers areas of harassment and discrimination. The Sexual Assault Policy covers any type of sexual violence. Sexual violence can occur in person as well as in online forums. For example, posting or sharing sexual pictures or videos without the person's consent is a violation of the sexual assault policy. More information about sexual violence, facts and myths, and supports can be found in the Sexual Violence module in UM Essentials. The respectful work and learning environment and sexual assault policies apply not only to students, but to all members of the University of Manitoba. There are also expectations for appropriate use of your email accounts and other technology that you have access to under the Use of Computer Facilities Policy. When you receive your U of M ID that allows you to access email, Learn, and other online platforms, you agree to specific terms and conditions for appropriate use of your U of M electronic ID. Every time your password has to be updated, you're going to be asked to review and agree to these terms. Please ensure that you read this information carefully. We cannot emphasize this enough. Use of technology at the U of M is a privilege, and you have the responsibility, as does everyone else, to use it properly. In addition, many professional programs like education, nursing, and health sciences have professional suitability policies in place that outline even more specific expectations for professional conduct that is also governed by external licensing bodies. Violations of these policies can result in disciplinary actions under the Student Discipline Bylaw. Students whose behavior on campus or online violates these policies can be subject to disciplinary actions, including suspensions, expulsions, withdrawal from a professional program, or even being banned from campus. It can also lead to a loss of computer and technology privileges, which would likely be very difficult during this time of remote learning. The consequences are quite severe, which is why we want to make sure that you are aware early on of your responsibilities under these policies so there are no surprises. During this time of remote learning, students may not realize all the ways in which they could potentially be engaging in disrespectful or inappropriate conduct. Here are some tips and guidelines to help you out. First of all, dress appropriately for online classes in which you'll be on video. Your instructor and fellow students will be able to see you during class. Mute your video or audio during online classes if you need to tend to a personal matter so it doesn't interrupt the instructor or other students or cause unnecessary distractions. We also recommend sending a personal chat to the instructor so that they're aware if you need to step away to deal with a matter temporarily. Use your proper name, not a funny name or a joke name, for the name that appears on your WebEx or Zoom screen during group or class meetings. Although your joke name may be funny or clever to you and your buddies, it could be disrespectful or even offensive to someone else who has also paid to take the class. Another tip, raise your hand. This might be a concept that you learned early on in your education, depending on where you're from. Regardless, it's something that will be important to follow in your university classes, whether in person or online. By talking without permission, you risk interrupting or talking over others. Most remote platforms allow some mechanism by which a student can indicate that they have a question. If you're unsure of how to do this, send a message to your instructor. If you have concerns about a course, another student, or an instructor, there are mechanisms in place at the university to help you address these concerns. Don't misuse email lists or other social media by using them to bring these concerns forward. the university has resources and supports available to assist you if you have a concern. Academic integrity rules apply to all your academic work, including online tests and exams, or even discussion boards that are evaluated. For example, always properly reference or cite any information that you got from another source. Remember that respectful conduct and communication applies to all forms of online engagement. The words you use, the photos you post, the memes that you create, basically any content that you choose to share or post. Of course, email is a super common method of communicating during this time, whether it be with your instructors, advisors in your faculty, or fellow students. Here are some tips to help ensure that your communication with instructors and staff on campus is respectful and appropriate. First of all, be sure to use proper language. For example, refrain from using slangs, swear words, or all caps. A lot of instructors consider the use of proper grammar and punctuation necessary and respectful. Learn how your instructor would like to be addressed. For example, can you refer to them by their first name or calling them Dr. So and so? Always address your email messages appropriately. If you're not sure, err on the side of being more formal than less formal. Be sure to include your name and student number on all of your emails. There are probably a lot of students who are also contacting the instructor or the advisor, so this will ensure that they know who the email is from and will likely help them respond to your email more quickly. Please be patient. It will take some time to receive replies to your emails. Learn what your instructor's response time is. This might be in the course outline, or they may tell you this during the first class. For example, some instructors will reply within 24 hours or 48 hours. Some instructors may not reply over the weekend. Do not send multiple messages with the same question in a short period of time. Sending a whole bunch of email messages is not going to result in a quicker response and may actually be considered disrespectful to your instructor or considered disruptive under university policies. Be proactive. If issues come up, let someone know right away so that you can seek timely advice. Don't leave important questions or concerns to the last minute. When people are stressed, in a rush, or feeling emotional, this is not a good time to be drafting an email message. We're more likely to say something without thinking it through, and it may be received in a disrespectful, offensive, or even aggressive way, even though this may not have been your intention at all. Remember, intention, emotion, and nonverbal cues are totally missing from email communication. Unless the person knows you or your personality really well, a sarcastic comment or joke may come across as rude, disrespectful, or offensive. Avoid using these in your email communications to instructors and staff on campus, and keep your messages clear and professional. Hopefully, you've had a chance to view the Academic Integrity module in Essentials as part of your orientation to the U of M. More detailed information about academic integrity and academic misconduct are included there. For now, we wanted to remind students of the importance of acting with integrity as part of your responsibility as a student and respect to others who have contributed to research through their hard work and honesty. The University of Manitoba follows the definition of academic integrity as defined by the International Center for Academic Integrity, which is a commitment, even in the face of adversity, to 6 fundamental values: honesty, trust, fairness, respect, responsibility, and courage. From these values flow principles of behavior that enable academic communities to translate ideals to action. Academic integrity is important for a lot of reasons, not just avoiding some of the consequences of being caught. Acting with integrity allows you to demonstrate respect for others' ideas, credibility, good academic practice, and contributes to the value of your degree. You will want your degree from the U of M to be meaningful, and if the U of M has a strong reputation, your degree will be worth something when you graduate, apply for a job, or apply to graduate school. But if the U of M has a reputation of letting students cheat, plagiarize, and take shortcuts to earning their degrees, When you graduate, your degree is not going to be worth very much. While there are a number of different kinds of academic misconduct, plagiarism is one of the most common forms. That is why the U of M has many resources available to help you with your written work. As a starting point, your professors are an excellent resource as they set the rules and expectations for your coursework. So please reach out to them if you have questions or you need clarification about what is and what is not permitted for each assignment and test. There are also many online resources available through the libraries to help you conduct research and keep organized records of your research for referencing and citation purposes. The Academic Learning Center is another great resource on campus that offers virtual workshops as well as tutors. Finally, the Academic Integrity website contains much more information about all areas of academic integrity, as well as resources to help make sure your work is done properly and within university expectations. It's important to know that you are not alone during your time here. There are many resources here to help you. If you feel that you are being disrespected, harassed, or threatened on campus, there are places that you can go to get help and support. For example, the Student Counseling Center, Student Advocacy and Case Management, the Office of Human Rights and Conflict Management, Indigenous Student Center, or International Center, just to name a few. The Sexual Violence Resource Center is available to assist anyone who has experienced sexual violence. Many times, students might engage in certain behaviors as a result of extra stress, pressure, or health issues that require tending to. Please know that there are a number of different resources that can help you if you're struggling, including financial aid and awards, food bank, health and wellness, and university health services. In addition, there are other staff in your faculties and programs, such as academic advisors, who are here to assist you. Although it can be really scary to reach out to people on campus that you don't know, we strongly encourage you to get information and clarification about your situation from these professionals. Sometimes students rely on advice from friends or fellow students, and while these individuals might be trying really hard to help, they may also not have the most accurate or up to date information. We just want to ensure that you're very clear on the expectations for appropriate and respectful conduct at the university. So please use the resources available to you. That's what they're there for. If you are looking for information about these and other resources and services available to you as a U of M student, you can find them in the student guide. We encourage you to review this information and keep it available should you have questions or need help at any point during your time here as a student. Your success here at the U of M is important to us. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation today.